All that we are is the result of what we have thought. The mind is everything. What you think you become. Buddha. These timeless words encapsulate the essence of Buddhist philosophy. The mind is the architect of our reality. Like a fertile field, our thoughts hold the power to cultivate a garden of joy and peace or a wilderness of discontent and suffering. Yet amidst this vast mental landscape lies a potent seed for liberation, samadhi, or right view. Right view transcends mere perception. It's about understanding the true nature of reality, impermanent, interconnected, and ever-changing. By cultivating this perspective, we can break free from the illusion of permanence and the suffering it breeds. This journey isn't about achieving a static state of understanding, but rather an ongoing exploration of the mind and its influence on our experience. We'll delve deeper into the concept of right view. We'll explore its connection to mindfulness meditation and the practical steps we can take to nurture this invaluable seed within ourselves. Join us as we embark on this transformative exploration, cultivating a path towards a more flourishing and liberated life. But before we get started, hit that subscribe button. We can build a more resilient community. 1. Karma. We reap what we sow. Our thoughts, words, and actions have consequences. If we cultivate negativity, we experience its effects. By focusing on positive thoughts and actions, we plant seeds of happiness and well-being. In the vast tapestry of Buddhist teachings, the concept of karma occupies a central space. It is not a system of punishment and reward, but a universal law of cause and effect, often expressed as we reap what we sow. Our thoughts, words, and actions, both intentional and unintentional, carry within them a seed of consequence that shapes the landscape of our lives. By understanding karma and its workings, we gain the power to cultivate positive intentions and actions, weaving a tapestry of happiness and well-being. One of the fundamental insights of Buddhism is the interconnectedness of all things. We are not isolated entities, but rather threads in a vast, intricate web of existence. Every thought, word, and action sets off ripples that extend outwards, impacting ourselves and the world around us. When we cultivate negativity, anger, hatred, or jealousy, these negative energies not only cloud our own minds but also reverberate outwards, creating disharmony and suffering in the world around us. When we choose kindness, compassion, and generosity, we plant seeds of positive energy. These seeds blossom not only within ourselves, fostering feelings of joy and contentment, but also extend outwards, enriching the lives of those around us. By cultivating positive intentions and engaging in wholesome actions, we contribute to a more peaceful and harmonious world. While intention is undoubtedly important, karma emphasizes the power of action. Good intentions left unfulfilled have little bearing on our karmic journey. It is through our actions, big or small, that we actively shape the world around us and set in motion the karmic wheel. Even seemingly insignificant acts of kindness or negativity can ripple outwards, creating unforeseen consequences. Karma empowers us by acknowledging our inherent agency. We are not passive victims of circumstance, but rather active participants in the creation of our own reality. By recognizing the karmic consequences of our choices, we are empowered to choose wisely. We can choose to cultivate positive thoughts, engage in acts of compassion, and work towards a more peaceful world, knowing that these actions will ultimately benefit ourselves and all beings. According to Buddhist teachings, karma dictates the course of rebirth. Negative actions can lead to unfavorable circumstances in future lifetimes, while positive choices lay the foundation for more fortunate experiences. This doesn't imply a rigid, predetermined path. Karma is a dynamic process, and through conscious effort we can always choose to cultivate positive actions and shift the course of our karmic journey. The cycle of karma can sometimes feel overwhelming, especially when faced with the consequences of past negativity. However, Buddhist teachings offer hope and liberation. Through practices like meditation and the cultivation of right view, we can develop the understanding and compassion necessary to break free from negative karmic patterns. Ultimately, the goal of the Buddhist path is liberation from suffering, dukkha. By understanding the law of karma and its influence on our lives, we can cultivate a sense of responsibility for our actions and actively choose to create positive karma. This fosters a life of inner peace, harmony, and ultimately liberation from the cycle of rebirth. Understanding karma is not about fear of punishment, but about living consciously. When we acknowledge the karmic consequences of our actions, we become more mindful of our choices and their impact on ourselves and others. This awareness empowers us to live with integrity, compassion, and a deep respect for the interconnected web of existence. 2. Impermanence. Everything is impermanent. Anicca. Happiness, sadness, success, failure, all are fleeting. Holding on to positive thoughts can create unrealistic expectations, while dwelling on negative ones only increases suffering. Instead, cultivating a perspective that accepts change allows us to navigate life's ups and downs with greater equanimity. The concept of impermanence, known as anicca in Pali, forms a cornerstone of Buddhist teachings. It reminds us that nothing in this world, from the grandest mountain to the fleeting thought, remains constant. Happiness, sadness, success, failure, all are like waves on a vast ocean, constantly rising and falling. Our human tendency is to cling to what feels good and avoid what brings discomfort. We strive for stability, security, and a sense of permanence in a constantly changing world. We build elaborate plans for the future, hoping to control the course of our lives. Yet such efforts are ultimately futile. People we love pass away, jobs disappear, and cherished possessions break down. The very foundation upon which we build our sense of security, our bodies and minds, are themselves impermanent, subject to the relentless march of time. Clinging to the illusion of permanence is a recipe for suffering. When we hold on to positive experiences, we create unrealistic expectations that inevitably lead to disappointment when things inevitably change. Similarly, dwelling on negative experiences keeps us trapped in a cycle of suffering, preventing us from finding joy in the present moment. The Buddhist path encourages us to cultivate a sense of detachment from external circumstances. This doesn't imply apathy or indifference, but rather a recognition of the fleeting nature of all things. By letting go of attachments to specific outcomes, possessions, or even relationships, we liberate ourselves from the fear of loss and the disappointment of change. The awareness of impermanence cultivates a sense of urgency to live fully in the present moment. Instead of wasting energy yearning for the past or fearing the future, we focus our attention on the here and now. We appreciate the simple joys of daily life, the warmth of the sun on our skin, the taste of a delicious meal, the sound of laughter with loved ones. Each moment, however fleeting, holds the potential for beauty and fulfillment. While acknowledging impermanence, we can still find meaning and purpose in our lives. The ephemeral nature of existence doesn't diminish the value of our actions. By understanding that our choices and actions have consequences, positive or negative, we can choose to contribute to a world that is more compassionate and peaceful. By accepting impermanence, we embrace the dynamic nature of life, understanding that growth and learning are inevitable. We become open to new experiences, willing to let go of outdated beliefs, and remain adaptable in the face of unforeseen challenges. 3. Interconnectedness. We are not separate from the world around us. Our thoughts and actions have ripples throughout the web of existence. Cultivating positive thoughts not only benefits us, but can also contribute to a more positive environment for others. In the vast tapestry of Buddhist teachings, the concept of interconnectedness, or pratityasamutpada, holds a central place. It shatters the illusion of separateness, revealing the fundamental truth. We are not isolated entities, but intricately woven threads in a vast web of existence. Every thought, word, and action, no matter how seemingly insignificant, creates ripples that extend outwards, impacting ourselves and the world around us. Our human tendency is to perceive ourselves as individuals, defined by our bodies and minds. However, Buddhist teachings offer a different perspective. We are not isolated entities existing in a vacuum, but rather interconnected beings, constantly in relationship with the world around us. The air we breathe, the food we eat, the clothes we wear, all are products of a complex web of interactions and interdependence. Think of a pebble dropped into a still pond. The ripples extend outwards, reaching every edge of the water. Similarly, our actions, big or small, create ripples throughout the interconnected web of existence. A kind word can brighten someone's day. A moment of anger can have unforeseen consequences. By recognizing this interconnectedness, we cultivate a sense of responsibility for our choices and their impact on the world. When we live from a place of disconnectedness, believing our actions have no bearing on others, it can lead to negative consequences. We may become self-centered, acting out of self-interest and exploiting the environment for personal gain. This disharmony creates ripples of negativity that ultimately affect us all. A smile offered to a stranger, a helping hand to someone in need. These seemingly small acts can have a profound impact on the world around us. By living with a sense of interconnectedness, we contribute to the creation of a more positive and harmonious environment for all beings. Compassion, or karuna in Pali, forms a cornerstone of Buddhist teachings. Recognizing our interconnectedness fosters a sense of empathy for the suffering of others. We see ourselves reflected in their struggles and are naturally motivated to alleviate their pain. By practicing compassion, we contribute to a more caring and supportive environment for all beings, strengthening the bonds of the interconnected web. Understanding interconnectedness empowers us to play an active role in creating a more peaceful world. We can begin by examining our own actions, recognizing how our daily choices and habits impact the world around us. We can then make conscious efforts to reduce our negative footprint and contribute towards a more sustainable future. Recognizing our interconnectedness can motivate us to get involved in social activism. When we see injustice done to others, it affects us all. By working towards positive social change, promoting equality and justice, we strengthen the interconnected web and contribute to a world where all beings can flourish. 4. Duality. Happiness is not the absence of sadness. It's understanding both are part of life. By holding on to the idea that we always deserve happiness, we set ourselves up for disappointment. Instead, accepting the duality of life allows us to appreciate the good times and find strength during difficult periods. Life is a tapestry woven from contrasting threads: joy and sorrow, success and failure, light and darkness. These seemingly opposing forces, however, are not isolated entities, but rather two sides of the same coin. Understanding this concept of duality, a core principle in Buddhist teachings, empowers us to navigate the inevitable ups and downs of life with greater equanimity and resilience. Our human tendency is to categorize experiences as either good or bad, desirable or undesirable. We crave happiness and seek to avoid sadness. However, this binary perspective distorts the reality of life. Happiness and sadness, like day and night, are not separate entities, but rather two aspects of the same human experience. One cannot exist without the other. Clinging to the idea that we always deserve happiness sets us up for inevitable disappointment. Life is inherently impermanent, anicca, and just as happiness arises, so too does sadness. When we experience joy, it's natural to want it to last forever. However, by clinging to this desire, we create unnecessary suffering. The impermanent nature of happiness reminds us to savor the good times while they last, knowing that change is inevitable. While sadness is often seen as an undesirable emotion, it serves a valuable purpose. It allows us to process loss, grief, and disappointment. Suppressing sadness can lead to emotional stagnation and hinder our ability to heal. By acknowledging and accepting sadness, we allow it to flow through us and eventually fade away. The experience of sadness can also teach us valuable lessons about ourselves and the world around us. It can deepen our empathy for others who are suffering and foster a sense of compassion. Through the darkness of sadness, we can emerge with a renewed appreciation for joy and a stronger sense of resilience. Duality doesn't just encompass emotions, it applies to all aspects of life. Challenges and setbacks are inevitable, but they also present opportunities for growth and learning. Just as a muscle needs resistance to become stronger, so too do we need to overcome obstacles to develop resilience and inner strength. The key to navigating the dance of duality lies in acceptance. By accepting the reality that life is a constant flow of both positive and negative experiences, we liberate ourselves from the struggle against what is. This acceptance doesn't imply passivity or resignation, but rather a sense of groundedness and equanimity that allows us to respond to life's challenges with wisdom and grace. The Buddhist concept of the middle way encourages us to avoid extremes. It's not about seeking only happiness and avoiding sadness altogether, but rather about finding a balance. When faced with a challenging situation, we can choose to focus on the positive aspects, the opportunities for growth, and the inherent impermanence of suffering. This perspective empowers us to navigate difficult times with greater resilience and find a sense of peace amidst the storm. Duality teaches us valuable life lessons. It reminds us to appreciate the good times even more. 5. Letting go. When we hold on to attachments and desires, we create suffering. The Buddhist concept of upekkha, often translated as equanimity or letting go, offers a path towards liberation from the grip of attachment and disappointment. Our natural tendency is to hold on to things, possessions, relationships, even fleeting emotions. We strive to create a sense of security and stability in an inherently impermanent world. We cling to the belief that certain things will bring us happiness, and we become afraid of losing them. This relentless clinging creates a burden, a constant undercurrent of anxiety and fear in our lives. The pursuit of happiness through clinging to external objects or outcomes is a recipe for disappointment. The Buddhist teaching, Yatha Sampichaya Dhamma, whatever you think you will get, underscores this truth. When we fixate on a certain outcome, we set ourselves up for a fall. Clinging often stems from a desire for control. We want to manipulate the world around us to ensure things go our way. However, this is ultimately an illusion. Life is a complex web of interconnected causes and conditions, and attempting to control every aspect is like trying to hold back the tide. The more we cling, the more frustrated we become by the inevitable flow of life. The Buddhist concept of samadhi, or right view, offers a path out of the cycle of clinging and disappointment. It encourages us to see things as they truly are, impermanent, interconnected, and subject to change. Recognizing the impermanence of all things, including our desires and expectations, helps us loosen our grip and cultivate detachment. This doesn't mean apathy or indifference, but rather a sense of acceptance for the inherent flow of life. Non-attachment doesn't mean living a life devoid of desires. It's natural to want things and strive for a better future. However, the key lies in not letting these desires control us. By cultivating non-attachment, we learn to hold our desires lightly, understanding that they are not a guarantee of happiness. We can still work towards our goals, but without the burden of needing a specific outcome. Clinging often extends to the past. We ruminate over past mistakes, relive hurts and disappointments, and hold on to grievances. However, the past is unchangeable. By clinging to it, we imprison ourselves in a mental prison, unable to move forward and experience the present moment. The true antidote to clinging lies in embracing the present moment. Mindfulness meditation, a core Buddhist practice, cultivates awareness of our thoughts and feelings without judgment. By focusing on the present breath, the sights and sounds around us, we learn to detach from the mental chatter of desires and anxieties. We can cultivate letting go in daily life by approaching situations with an open mind. When facing a conflict, we can try to understand the other person's perspective and let go of the need to be right. When dealing with disappointment, we can accept the situation and focus on what we can control. Letting go is a continuous practice, a journey of unclenching our hands and opening ourselves to the flow of life. Letting go often requires forgiveness. Holding on to anger and resentment towards ourselves or others is a form of clinging that keeps us chained to the past. 6. The power of thought. Our thoughts shape our reality. Negative thoughts breed anxiety and negativity. However, cultivating positive thoughts fosters optimism and can even lead to positive outcomes through the power of intention. The human mind is a fertile ground, and the seeds we sow through our thoughts have a profound impact on our reality. Buddhist teachings emphasize the power of thought, highlighting the connection between our inner world and the experiences we manifest in the external world. By recognizing this connection, we can cultivate positive thought patterns and empower ourselves to create a more fulfilling and joyful life. Dwelling on negative thoughts creates a vicious cycle. When we focus on what's wrong, we attract more of the same. We become hypervigilant to potential problems, overlooking positive aspects and opportunities for growth. This negativity can manifest in our interactions with others, creating strained relationships and further negativity. The good news is that the power of thought works in both positive and negative directions. By cultivating positive thoughts and intentions, we plant seeds of optimism, hope, and joy. These positive thoughts not only improve our mood, but also influence our outlook on life. We become more open to possibilities, attract opportunities, and experience a greater sense of well-being. While the concept of the law of attraction may be interpreted in various ways, the core principle aligns with Buddhist teachings on the power of thought. By focusing our intentions on positive outcomes, we prime ourselves to notice opportunities and take actions that lead us closer to our goals. This is not about passive wishing, but rather about cultivating a positive mindset that translates into motivated action. We can cultivate a sense of self-compassion, replacing blame with understanding. Shifting our inner narrative empowers us to approach life with greater confidence and optimism. Gratitude is a powerful antidote to negativity. By focusing on the things we are grateful for, we shift our attention towards the positive aspects of our lives. This fosters a sense of contentment and appreciation, even amidst challenges. The practice of gratitude can be as simple as taking a few moments each day to reflect on the things we are thankful for, big or small. While positive thinking is essential, it needs to be coupled with action. Simply wishing for a better future won't necessarily bring it about. A positive mindset empowers us to take action towards our goals. Life inevitably throws us curveballs. When faced with setbacks or challenges, positive thinking isn't about denying the difficulties. It's about maintaining an optimistic outlook and a belief in our ability to overcome obstacles. Positive thoughts help us find creative solutions, maintain motivation, and bounce back from setbacks with resilience. 7. Motivation matters. The getting in whatever you think you will get isn't about selfish desires. Cultivating right view means directing our thoughts and actions towards positive outcomes, such as alleviating suffering for ourselves and others. When we cultivate samma sankappa, right motivation, we transform the getting into a force for good, driving us towards positive outcomes that benefit both ourselves and others. Human beings are driven by a natural desire to fulfill our wants and needs. We strive for happiness, security, and comfort. However, when this desire takes center stage, it can lead us down a path of self-centeredness and ultimately bring disappointment. Clinging to the pursuit of personal gain, the getting in whatever you think you will get, becomes a recipe for frustration and suffering. Motivation fueled by greed, envy, or a desire for personal gain can lead us down a destructive path. We may resort to unethical means to achieve our goals, harming ourselves and others in the process. This misdirected motivation creates a sense of emptiness even after we achieve our desires. The concept of samadhi, right view, serves as a guiding light for aligning our motivation with a positive purpose. Developing right view involves understanding the impermanence of all things and the interconnectedness of existence. Knowing this, we realize that true happiness cannot be found in fleeting external objects or experiences. Instead, right view encourages us to direct our thoughts and actions towards alleviating suffering for ourselves and others. Compassion, or karuna in Pali, forms the cornerstone of right motivation. It involves recognizing the shared humanity of all beings and the inherent desire to alleviate suffering. When we cultivate compassion, our motivation becomes less about personal gain and more about contributing to a world where all beings can flourish. This shift in perspective imbues our actions with a sense of purpose and meaning. The practice of generosity, or dana in Pali, serves as a potent expression of right motivation. Giving doesn't just refer to material possessions, it encompasses giving of our time, talents, and resources. When we give with a pure heart, motivated by the desire to help others, we contribute to a more compassionate and harmonious world. This act of giving is not only beneficial to the recipient, but also fosters a sense of joy and fulfillment within ourselves. Right motivation inspires us to work towards goals that benefit the greater good. We may be inspired to advocate for environmental sustainability, work towards social justice, or contribute to causes that alleviate suffering. While right motivation is essential, it needs to be coupled with skillful means, or upaya in Pali. Just as a skilled gardener needs the right tools to cultivate a garden, we need effective actions to manifest positive change. This may involve acquiring knowledge, developing skills, or collaborating with others to achieve a common goal.